This. Keep them both in the top. This.
So in between rounds, we've made the transition from Motec to Morelli. It is the recommended system for the Ducati V4R, and it's straight away given me a really nice feeling with the bike. The throttle transition is nice and smooth. The ECU itself works completely different to the Motec, so a lot of the Motec setting is based upon just sheer numbers in the system, whereas the Morelli system is preset in a lot of ways that it's been made, but those presettings have been tested and simulated and developed by Ducati so that you can get the most out of the bike, and a lot of the traction control works on wheel force, and so does the engine brake. So the feeling of the bike's changed quite a lot. The intervention from the traction control is what I call like seamless. I can't really feel it cutting in as much as what I could with the Motec, which is like it's a plus. The bike always seems to maintain grip. Mechanics obviously have to analyze the data with a different system, look at it and try to make changes to make me feel as comfortable as I can on the bike. And at the moment, we just need some time on the bike with the new system, and I'm sure that we'll be able to extract the most out of it, because I do believe that with the Morelli system we can get more out of this bike. So we're at the end of the first day at Eastern Creek. Friday, it's a 2-day event, goes into the evening. We started out really strong in pre-practice 1. The feeling with the bike was actually pretty good. Towards the end of the session I felt like I was losing a little bit of power on the straight, which felt kind of odd, but I think we finished out in P3, so a strong start. Then we went into the second session, and the problem with the bike in the straight line started to become more prominent, and it just turned out to be a bad O2 sensor. So that feeling I had at the end of first practice was the lambda not reading properly in the ECU, trimming the bike out and not having any power. So we lost session 2 trying to diagnose what the issue was, and then session 3 I think we finished 4th with a 1:30.4, so everything was looking good. And then qualifying started, and it was sprinkling the whole time. It was probably one of the weirdest sessions that I've been in, with water coming out of the sky and in the dark. And my first time riding the bike in the wet, but still having to run slick tyres and push. It wasn't the ideal conditions. We made it through to Q2, and in Q2 I went out sort of at the rear of the group, not wanting to be the first one out as the rain was starting to get harder. And in those situations, it's always good to have someone further up the track in case you get to the back of the circuit and it's completely wet, and you can sometimes come upon bikes on the ground already. You give yourself a buffer to slow down for it, but I went out and pushed really hard, and I came into the pit box thinking that the lap time wasn't great, but the conditions, I was just riding to the conditions. So to see that we ended up in 11th position was it was a little bit strange for me. I don't know how the other guys found more speed than they did in the dry with water coming out of the sky, but hey, that's racing, weird things happen. Unfortunately we had to start from P11. So tomorrow's going to be a tough one. Hopefully the rain holds off. So here we are on Saturday, and the rain's come out big time, rained a lot overnight, and our first practice is going to be, the warm-up itself for the racing is going to be wet. And the team will go through a bunch of changes to the motorbike. They'll change the spring rate front and rear. They'll reduce the tension of the spring, so basically run a softer spring because the speed levels are going to be down and you need more compliance with the tar from the motorbike. It is the first time that I'm going to ride the Ducati in proper wet conditions, so I'm going to take it easy, and there's a lot of parameters the team can change in the settings of the ECU to make it more comfortable for the rider, but at the end of the day, it's a feel thing in your ass, how much grip you can feel coming from the rear tyre, and in your hands how much grip's coming from the front. So we make a bunch of changes to soften the bike, and then the way I ride the bike changes as well. You want to do most of your braking upright in a straight line, and then when you're on the edge of the tyre you want to get your body off as much as you can and pick the bike up on the meat of the tyre where most of the grooves are on the wet tyres, and keep the bike upright so that when you're accelerating out of the corners you get as much of the tyre carcass on the tar as you can, and some downforce into the rubber. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky, but hey, it's the same for everyone, so we'll just go out there, put our best foot forward and see how we go. So we finished our racing for the weekend. It's a tough one for me. I feel like, you know, we've had the form to go and have a good result, but the qualifying didn't do us any favours. Even though I got a good start in the first race, we just didn't seem to have the pace in the bike, and I'm not sure whether that was just a setting thing. I do believe that the rain that we had overnight washed all the rubber off the track, and with our new Magneti Marelli ECU, I think it's very sensitive to those sort of conditions changing, and so keeping on top of the track conditions and getting the optimum out of the bike is a crucial point of the setup of our motorbike, because we sort of struggled in race 1, but in race 2 we made some changes, and still in sections of the track where I felt like I was fast, I wasn't able to get all the power out of the bike. Like out of turn 6, I was just unable to get drive out of the bike. Even though the tyre was hooked up, the bike was hooked up, when I opened the throttle I wasn't getting all the power available to me. So it's a learning sort of progression for the team to get the most out of the bike. You know, 8th place in the second race, it wasn't great, but if you look at it overall, we made an improvement, which is fine, but you know, I look at where we sort of should be and the times that we've done in the past around the track. We should have been fighting for the podium, so it's time to go back to the drawing board, have a look at what we did well, what we didn't do well, try to make some changes, and then just get on top of what it is that we need to get the most out of this bike. The new ECU, obviously, it's like starting from scratch again, but I'm confident that when this package is completed and the bike's set up correctly, we can fight for race wins. You know, there was the same motorbike that we're on was up the front, so yeah, I look forward to that day when we get up the front, but at the moment we've still got some work to do.